And you fell into the startup space, right? So, but
Yes.
you were in internal medicine. Can you share a little bit about how you've made that transition from becoming a doctor and then showing up here in the space?
Internal medicine, so you were a real like doctor.
Yes, doctors. Initially, I was on that path to being a doctor, but when I joined my first startup, that's when I realized that I actually love doing this. Even though I talk to women today, it was one of the first jobs I had was answering questions that mothers had about their babies. That was pretty much my day in and out every day. And I realized at that point that these are conversations that are not happening every single day, because I was working in India, and that's a country where doctor has pretty much a few minutes for every patient. We don't really have time to have conversations with the women, or we don't have time to really dig deep into what is concerning them. We don't really have time to have conversations with the women, or we don't have time to really dig deep into what is concerning them. So there's so much miscommunication and so much gap from what she's trying to say and what she really needs, that the woman herself is so confused by the time she leaves. So I think that's when I realized that, okay, this is what I really enjoy doing. Because when you sit in a startup space, you're behind a screen and you're trying to have these conversations where it's more detailed and it's more cataloged and it's more understood. And that's, I think, what made me stick to it. And over the years, it's something that has made me feel that, okay, I am actually providing value in a space that has been unknown for so long. And that's almost 10 years ago. It's the discussions have evolved, and the way women are approaching their health conversations have also evolved. But it's that aha moment you have at the time when you're having that conversation and you realize, okay, this is something that needs to be done. Are we building towards something that can actually bring about change? But today we have we have something like a podcast discussing women's health, which was unthinkable at a certain point. So I think today we are at a space where we can actually see a change happening, where it's tangible on all spaces of women's health. It's not that you only, okay, if I have only menstrual pain, I'll get some help. But it's like in all aspects of women's health that is being prioritized. And I think that's the most exciting thing about what's happening now. It's not that you need to only be in a certain phase or maybe certain aspect of women's health. It's more all encompassing, and you can be anybody asking for help from anywhere in the world. Like even if you're in rural India, for instance, or in Africa, like something as simple as a phone can connect you to a hospital or give you access to a doctor. I don't know, women are getting lost in the system because of it. So I think it's more figuring out how to prioritize the important parts of healthcare versus just going at it blindly. I think so. So it's more understanding it. And that's where talking to women more comes in. Like you have to talk to the women to figure out what is missing for them. And I think that's what would be the most biggest difference in different countries, is that women in India would want something else prioritized versus a woman in, say, Germany or in the US. So what are the women asking for in your region? And that's the only way you're going to figure that out, is by talking to women over there. Because that's the biggest difference I have noticed in different places, is just what they are asking for. Because some might be a little behind, some might be a little ahead. So I think sending messaging that way, I've seen it actually work in India quite extensively. We have quite a few professionals that are actually talking about women's health quite openly. So that's a great channel through which we can explore further. It is also by getting yourself out there and talking more to the women, especially people like me working in the space, having these conversations. I know we have a lot of conversations amongst ourselves because we need to have that, and because that's where the innovations are taking place, that's where the new discoveries are taking place, research, data, etc. But it is also looking on the outside to the women you actually want to help. So I think trying to go talk to more women, understand what their concerns are, maybe take trips to the local villages that you live or nearby where you stay. I think those are simple ways to create awareness more, understand how it's working beyond just what you are aware of. But I think for over the years, what I've noticed is women know intuitively that something is not right. And whenever she seeks, she finds the satisfaction in an answer that is complete. So it could be through a community, it could be through going to her doctor, it could be through maybe a Facebook group, WhatsApp group, an app she has downloaded, or whatever it is. I think at the end of it, she feels that, okay, my problem has been solved. And it's happened. I'll give an example. So there a couple of times I've worked in apps and I've answered questions, and I would recommend a woman to go to a doctor if it's more serious. So there was a woman that actually came back to me, I think 2 years later or so, and I had not even working at the company anymore. And she told me, "Oh, I remember the previous time I had a concern during my first pregnancy, and you were there, and I talked to you." And she actually reached a solution. And she came back to me and told me that it helped her.
Thanks for joining us on the Healthcare Uprising. Make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons before you go, and take a moment to think of a friend and hit that share button. You can find us on all the major audio platforms, and we've got video on YouTube and Patreon, patreon.com/healthcareuprising, if you want to watch us in action.
You can also find us on social media on LinkedIn, Blue Sky, Instagram, and Facebook. Just search Healthcare Uprising to find us. And if you're a new company or a creator with a cool new product for the healthcare space, or if you're someone with a personal healthcare journey and you'd like to share it with us here at The Uprising, please email us at healthcareuprising@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you about coming on the show. That's all for this dose of Healthcare Uprising. Till the next time, keep looking for the good in the world, because sometimes it's where you least expect it.
This has been a Shut Up production.
Shut up!